Hey, scrappy people. Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with day 22 of my December daily. And today I'm going to be scrapping an outing that we took. And I really wanted to include this large photo, but the orientation, it was too large to really get a great view of at a size that would fit on a single 6x8. So you can tell this is a different photo, same photo, but different. And I loved this one so much that I blew it up, and I decided that the best way to showcase this photo was to have it fold out, which of course means that you don't see it when you open up the album. You have to open it up to see the whole page, which I don't always love. Sometimes I just want the photo to speak for itself, but I actually really like this. This looks really cool to me. I realize that there's a big white line down the middle, but there's not much you can do about that. If I did black, then there would be black here, so whatever. We're gonna go with the white line, and on the outside I'm gonna put a pocket with some film strips of different photos I took on our Christmas light outing, and then I'm going to pair it with another 6x8 page with this photo and our journaling and title, etc. So I haven't really planned beyond that because I don't even know what collection I'm using. I think I'm just gonna mix and match and pull whatever strikes my fancy, so let's get started. So I did have some papers pulled to the side here from it's one paper from the Simple Stories Mix and a Mingle collection. I just had it from my Citrus Twist kits, the Merry Making add-on, sitting at the side, and honestly, if I if I cycle this down into my stash, it'll go missing forever. So I thought, well, we're getting to the end here, we better just use the things that we want to use before it disappears forever. So I'm going to use this red paper as the background for this pocket, and then the busier ornament side is going to make the pocket itself. Just trying to make sure everything lines up pretty well. This page I printed it and ended up being just slightly smaller than an 8.5 by 11, so it's a little short. So we're just trimming up here, and then I'm gonna add in my pocket with red line tape because I restocked my red line tape, and that's always the best thing to do pockets. You can get the adhesive super thin and super straight, whereas with a tape gun it's always kind of hard to get it thin and straight. So this is perfect. And then I'm just gonna put my film strips in there for the moment, and then I'll come back to them. And they're a little bit small for the pocket, I think, a little bit wiggly in there, and every time like I flipped everything over, they would fall out. So I need to make them slightly bigger so that they don't fall out. But first we're gonna work on the other side of the page. I have some scraps left over, and I'm just not gonna overthink this. I'm gonna go with it because we are hitting the end of this album, and that's a lot. we're at the point where we are tired. I don't know why I'm referring to myself in the third person. I do that when I'm tired, but I'm tired. I'm ready to be done with this album, and I'm still, these are the pages that if I'm not careful, they can get pretty rote and like just completed rather than creative. So I'm trying to stay creative, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't just phone it in for the last few. But this doesn't mean I have to overthink everything. It doesn't mean that I have to go crazy. They can be beautiful pages without being a lot, even though for a lot of people this is a lot, but for me it's a pretty standard configuration in my December daily, so it's a pretty easy one for me to finish. Anyway, so I had these papers sitting to the side, and I just decided to use them. And even though for me the ornaments don't really match the theme of the page very much, but there are Christmas trees in our photos, so it works. I'm going to use these Mix and a Mingle puffy stickers, and all of this is from, or the majority of this is from, either the Citrus Twist kits, Jingle All the Way collection, or the Merry Making 12x12 add-on. I still have a lot of both collections left over, so I'm just trying to use them up to an extent. So that's what I decided to go with, plus it all matches, obviously. So I decided to back this joy with one of those wreath die cuts from crepe paper, just to give it a little oomph on the page and separate it from all of those ornaments just slightly. It doesn't make a huge impact, but it does enough to make it feel intentional. And then I'm going to use this green velvet ribbon. I untied the bow because I found out that if I untied the bow, I could do both the top and the bottom. Now, I don't normally do horizontal and vertical striping on my pages, so obviously I have the vertical papers. And now I'm going to do horizontal green bands on this photo, and I actually think it looks pretty cool. I like the contrast, the sort of grid effect it gives the page. Not really grid, but you know, like the blocking effect it gives the page. And then I am gonna end up putting a tag on the ribbon itself, so that makes it a little less blocky, and that'll be really cool. So I'm just trimming this up. I should have waited until I put the tag on, but I didn't know I was gonna put the tag on, so you live and you learn. Okay, so I've got the basics configuration down here. So I'm going to cut down this journal card into a tag shape. So I'm just cutting off the outside lines. I'm going to leave these two just for fun. And I'm going to cut the bottom off. And then I'm going to add a hole and create a tag out of it rather than a journal card. If I can find my hole punch. There it is. And then I'm going to string it on this bottom green ribbon, and it's going to be like a little jaunty angle so that it isn't quite so blocky, and also it kind of mimics the photo strips on the left-hand side at the angle it ends up being at. So that's a cute little piece of repetition. Make sure we stretch this all the way to the edge. That's why I should have waited to trim it. Okay, we got it. So I'm going to tilt this just a little bit, and then I'm going to adhere it down and trim off that bottom edge. I love it. It's so cute. And then all I have left to do is a little bit of embellishing. So I still have these puffy stickers here. So I thought at first I was going to use this, but I find something better. Love it. And then I have all the die cuts and everything that I have left over just kind of sitting here. So I just want to use up what works. So I'm not even really concerned about what matches and what like matching collections or whatever. I just want to power through and get this done. So I'm going to start pulling from all of the bits and pieces, which means that Simple Stories and Crepe Paper is going to get mixed up together, but they came together in the collection. So I guess that means that they match, and they really do. So I put that bow at the top of the ornament just because I thought it was cute. I'm going to change it out in a minute for a different bow, but I love the bow decoration on top of the ornament in the photo. I thought it was funny. Then I'm going to have 2 of these word strips. Best moments, bundle up. It was so cold. Actually, it was right before it got super cold, but like it was hours before, so the temperature was dropping fast. So by the time we finished, it was so cold. So bundle up works. And since I'm using bundle up, I'm going to go ahead and use some mittens and hats. I'm going to use up some of these stars first, though. I'm just sprinkling them around like confetti. The pink and blue ones. I don't normally add like the enamel dots in the middle of my layout, but I don't know. We were breaking all the rules with this one. Okay, so we got mittens and hats. I decided I was going to use pink because there's a lot of pink, but I decided once I got these down that there was too much pink. So I'm going to stick these mittens under here. Oh, goodness gracious. We can do it. There we go. I'm going to stick these, all that work, I'm going to stick these mittens under here, immediately change this out to yellow. Okay, I like that better with the pop of color. But I'm a little bit OCD about my mittens and my hat matching, and we needed to have matching here. So we got blue on the back. Oh, wait, distracted by Holly. Nope. We've got blue on the back, so we're going to take off the pink, put the blue instead, and that adds a little pop of color that that was not pink that we needed. Okay, I like that. So we're going to go with the blue. Just trying to find something, like anything that will work, because it was feeling a little barren. I'm going to add the title, Good Cheer, underneath our feet. I don't want to add too much to this photo. I just want to let it be, but I am going to add just a couple of things, holly and good cheer. I'm going to add 2 spots of these holly leaves. One at the top and one at the bottom. Oh, sorry, off camera. You'll see in just a second. I like this photo. Like, when I always have a problem. I always either want to over embellish or under embellish large photos, and this one I definitely did not want to touch too much, but I think that the holly that I added was a good touch without detracting from the photo. I found a better bow because it was red and pink and a little bit darker, and I thought that that helped ground the layout a little bit better. Alright, so I'm liking this, but we need to fix these film strips. Why do I keep calling them that? They're photo strips. Having a problem, you guys. I am. Today is the day after Christmas. I am burnt. I am fried. I am done. So I cut down some more of that pink paper that I used as a mat. Again, we are just using up our scraps here, making sure nothing gets left behind. I'm going to mat 2 in pink and 1 in green. And yes, I realize that the pattern is crooked, like turned 90 degrees. I don't care. We're at that point. We don't care. Nope. Alright, so I've got all of these matted down, and then I'm just going to trim the first one into a tag, and I always do that. Hello, stick it down. Okay. Oh. I always do that by cutting off a corner. There we go. And then flipping it over and matching it on the other side. And now I've got a template for all the other ones. So I'm just going to hold that against this and use it to trim down the other two. Even using the hole as a guide. Cute. I like it. I decided to use or make one green so that it just wasn't a big pink blob back there. Alright. I don't think I'm going to add much more to that except for string. I thought about maybe tying them all together so you could take them out like kind of like a book and like fan through them, but I thought that it might get a little bit wonky if I tied 3 together. Like, it might be hard to see all of the different strips, so I decided not to do that, and I just decided to do 3 separate ones. And then I realized at the end that I didn't have my number, and that was what was missing from this whole thing. So I'm going to use the foam thickers. I'm going to use 1 red, 1 green, because why not? And yeah, that is it. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There's a link in the description box below to the blog post for this video if you are interested in the credits and the still images. And yeah, I will see you next time. All right, thank you.